Good evening, everyone. This is the Chess Confessor, and this is my story, my chess. I started playing chess, oh, some 56 years ago. I was about 12 years old, and the reason I started was I was really bored one day, bored out of my head, and I started snooping around the house, looking for things to do, and my sister had received a chess game from a friend for her birthday one year, and of course she didn't bother with it. She just stuck it away in the closet. And I happened to dig around in the closet that particular day that I was bored to death, and I just seen this like checkerboard and this box, and I opened the box and there's these checkers in the box along with these unusual looking pieces. I had never seen anything like that before in my life, 12 years old. I guess I hadn't seen much. But there it was, uh, these unusual looking pieces, and I was fascinated by what they were, So I seen the instructions were in the box, so I figured, take a look at it and began to read the instructions, and some of it told about the chess and the game itself, that it was thousands of years old and Game of Kings, and boy, I just got fascinated by the game, and I read the rules and went through it pretty quick, and then sat down with my sister, and I got her to go over it with me, and we read the rules and got pretty much all the rules, about the movements of the pieces, except we, didn't quite get all the pawn moves down pat, and so we began playing, and I became excited with the game, just totally wound into it. It's like something bit me, and it's like I couldn't get away from it. I became addicted to it. And so I kept playing and kept winning and winning and winning, and it's like nobody could beat me. And it's like the problem in those days was that there just wasn't enough people playing chess. I mean, this was like 1960, and there just wasn't a lot of chess players around. So I played quite a bit and went to school and stuff, and a friend of mine, well, he knew the game, and he knew how to play the game, so we got to playing one day, and we went over things, and he showed me all the real basic moves and everything. Some moves that I had missed, about the pawn and peasant, and the fact that you couldn't, put two pieces on one square and stuff like that. So we began playing, and so I got everything down straight, and I beat him like 7 games out of 7 games. It was amazing. It's like he was totally surprised, that that I already had an understanding of the game, of course, because of the way I played before, and nobody could beat me. And even though I had learned the exact movement of all the pieces, I turned around and I beat him anyhow. And he was amazed at that. So I kept playing, and like I said, I couldn't find a lot of people that were playing the game. So I started teaching others how to, play the game and how the kings move and the queen and bishops and knights and rooks and pawns and everything about the game, and got them interested into it. And I got quite a few uh, of my friends interested in the game at that time, back in the 1960. And I'd say probably between 1960 and 1965, I probably taught, uh, maybe 25 or so people how to play the game. And like I said, I just couldn't get enough of it. And, I used to go to the library and look up chess books, and ask the librarian if she had any. And it always seemed like, oh yeah, they had chess books there. And I was just became fascinated by these, you know, people that were masters at the game, grandmasters, world champions even. It's like I I became absorbed by this. I just had to get everything bit of information I could on chess, and learn all I could about the game, its history, and its people that played as champions, as world champions, and so on. Great games and stuff. And it wasn't until a little while later that I was able to finally get my first chess book. You know, it was Chess by Leonard Barton. And you can see this is a little bit beat up. It's quite old. But I finally was able to get my first chess book, and boy, I tell you, I went through this thing time and time again. It's the only book I had for years, when I was a young man, and so I learned quite a bit from that book there itself, and just kept playing and playing as much as I could. I just couldn't get enough of it. Back in those days, I mean, you didn't have any computers or chess playing machines at all. It's just if you wanted to play chess, you better find a chess player, and they were hard to come by. Like I said, I had to teach quite a few people myself. So anyhow, later on in the 60s, as I got older, in 1966, started a chess club at school, and we gathered enough people together, and we had quite a fantastic time playing. We, play games against ourselves and so on, and then we had, if I recall, it was like 12 matches, and we ended up winning 11 of the 12 matches with one draw, which gave us the league championship, and then we went on into the playoffs between the leagues, and we ended up finishing through the first round, and then the second round, the final round, we lost. But all did we have fun, and we played in 67, 66, 67. There we played in the Ohio Scholastic Championship, and did quite well there. I actually was okay with that. I won 3 out of 5 games, and that was pretty good for me, and our team finished pretty high. It wasn't extremely high. We probably finished, out of hundreds. There was hundreds that entered the thing, and our team probably finished up there the 50% bracket, So it wasn't bad. But we did win the league championship that year for our league, and we entered the playoffs and survived to the final round, and then lost. But boy, it was exciting those years playing chess, and just couldn't get enough of it, And after graduation, it was like, well, what do you do now? So it's back, you didn't see a lot of your school friends after that, So games were in between times, and then along came military service, and I went into the military, and ended up playing. I did play a few games in the military with buddies there that knew how to play the game, which was kind of cool because they actually knew how to play, so, quite good. I mean, they were probably good C average, some B average, players, and so I had some good games there. But then later on, after I got out of the military, came home, I did enter into some tournaments in the 70s, and there was some local tournaments, and also some the Cleveland Open. They had the Cleveland Open here, and things like that. So in the 70s, I had probably 3 or 4 tournaments, and then it wasn't in the 80s. I probably entered into a few more tournaments there. If I recall, I think there was about 3 there, and eventually I got an established rating, which wasn't very good. The tournaments, I found out that they were nerve-wracking to me. Playing open over the board, you know, is in tournaments, and I wanted to win so bad. I think it's kind of like hurt me there because I wanted to win so bad. And but there was some good times in some of those tournaments where I won, came out with the winning record, or at least split, you know. But there was one tournament that I got totally wiped out in. There was a 4 game thing, and I lost all 4 games. I was totally wrecked, you know. But it didn't discourage me. I knew I was better than that, you know. Then I got married, you know, in the '70s there too, and that slowed me down. There's less time for chess, you know, as things were going on, and it wasn't until much later in my older age here now that I'm playing more chess today probably than I did at any time. The most I played probably was like 600 games a year when I was young, you know. A couple years there was like maybe 4 or 5, 600 games, you know. Some years it was only like 100 and some games. Other years, and as I got older and got married and so on, it dwindled down into the teens and so on as far as games played. But now that I'm, you know, been retired for quite a few years, I've been playing more, and I have found out that I feel like I'm better than what I was when I was younger, and that's probably from experience, you know. But I feel stronger and playing much better than what I did, I think, when I was younger. And so I'm enjoying myself quite a bit with the game, and it's a lot of fun for me. I get a lot of entertainment out of it, and you know, I value the combination, and you come up with some of these combinations and some of these plans and strategies, and that are just work out just like you planned, you know, just beautifully, like, you know. And that part of the game really thrills me, you know. It's like when you come up with that expert, you know, or well, I would maybe say expert, but that great combination where you know you got the game, when you really got that position, you know you got the winning position, and you end up carrying things out just as they're supposed to fall, you know, as you had planned it. And so it's that part of it is fascinating to me. It's keeps me going, and I love the game. Keep playing it, and I'll play it as much as I can, and we'll see what goes on from there. And like I say, you know, I feel like I'm getting stronger. Uh, I know I used to be an average C player, club player, and then a little bit better than average, then much better than average, beating most average players. And then now I'm finding out that I'm getting into the lower B class player, and I'm holding my ground right now. So I'm hoping to improve on that, and continue to climb, and see how I go, and just having fun with it. That's all I can say. And if you like the game of chess, well, I'd say keep at it, and pick it up and move on, and keep playing, and you're going to improve over time. And of course, you know, the more you play, the more you're going to improve. And my only regret is that I certainly wish they had chess playing machines when I was a young man. Who knows what I would have done then with all the enthusiasm for the game that I had back then. And today it's like there's great opportunities out there to really master the game if you're young enough and you really like to go at it. You know, just get right in there and battle it out and learn all you can. Have fun and enjoy the game. It's a great game to play. Good night.